Hey there, it's Eileen and Aundrea, and we are bringing you our monthly market update for the Las Vegas market. I guess that includes Henderson and North Las Vegas also, but the Las Vegas market update. And I really do have to start today with breaking news, I guess you could say. This will be old news by the time that you see this, but breaking news today. The governor issued our mask mandate is no longer in effect. So first day in a couple of years that I have dropped off my kids at school with no masks. So our conversation this morning was very interesting. With my son being a little bit upset that we're not having masks anymore. And I said, oh, well, bud, you can still wear your mask if you want to. I said, you know, but what's your concern? And he said, well, now I can't talk to my friends without my teachers knowing. So, you know, we all have our reasons for loving or hating the mask mandate. So I just thought that I would share with you a teenager perspective.
Yes.
So we'll get right into what's happening in our Las Vegas market. I don't know how to break this to everybody. It's gonna go like, you're gonna be so excited or you're gonna be really upset. The median home price, we just found out, 2 days ago, is now $435,000, which is, as you can imagine, a record. But we have different reactions. I will give you the seller response, and then we'll get the buyer response from Aundrea.
Okay.
Seller response is, when can I sell my house?
Sign me up.
Yeah, mixed with, if I sell my house, where am I gonna go? So home prices are higher than they've ever been. So if you've been on the fence about selling your home, now is a great time because inventory is also lower than it's ever been. So you have those kind of two things. Inventory is super low, prices are higher than they've ever been. Now is a great time to sell. So that is our positive spin on this news. And now I'm gonna give you to Aundrea to tell you how that's affecting buyers.
Well, unfortunately, buyers are not really excited about price increases.
Right.
Because it means that they're priced out of the market, or they don't qualify, or they're waiting, or all of the above.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of doom and gloom, which we don't want to focus on, but unfortunately, that's a reality. You know, there's been a lot of people with the change in rates, the higher prices, that just can't afford to buy and are looking at other strategies or options to get into being a homeowner, because of course everybody wants to be a homeowner.
Yeah, I mean, and I have a client right now who, she has been looking for a condo. I mean, nothing super expensive. It's in the low to mid 200s. But we've probably put in offers for her for 6 properties. She's been beaten out every time, mostly by investors who have come into the market and they're paying cash over whatever that list price is.
Right.
But then with this latest rate increase, her buying power went from about a 240 down to 225.
That's a big change.
Big jump, or I'm sorry, not jump, big decrease in her buying power. So I understand this, especially first-time home buyer kind of section of our market. I feel for you. I know you feel for them. It is very, very tough right now. It is really getting discouraging, but please, even if you have to take a break, say for 6 months, let the market level out, see where we are in 6 months, keep making all of your payments on time, keep on top of that credit score, you know, do all of the things that you're already doing in anticipation of buying a house, and then let's revisit that conversation in a few months and see where we're at. I really hate to see people especially first-time home buyers get so discouraged.
Right.
But that is kind of the reality of where we are at the moment.
Yeah, it's an emotional decision for them. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, you and I have been through this so many times, it's easy for us to go, oh, it's okay. But for them, it's better for them to kind of take a break, breathe, and then reevaluate.
Yeah.
Because then they might get a fresh set of eyes or a different perspective and
Right.
then be happy about the process instead of frustrated.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's all just in how you frame it. So we can, help you with that process, but at least if you take an emotional break,
Yes.
I think that can really help in the long run, especially rather than going out every single day looking and not getting anything. It's a hard process. So that's why you hire professionals to walk you through it so that we can tell you, listen, this is normal or this is not normal,
right?
And help you along the way. So don't get discouraged. If you need to take a break, completely understandable. One issue that we have not talked about in a while is the issue of forbearance. So as you may know, or maybe you don't, at the beginning of the pandemic, we had this, I don't know, what was it, a cushion maybe? Called forbearance, a break that you could take for making your mortgage payments. And usually this was supposed to be for people who had lost jobs, were not able to remotely work from home, just situations that they didn't want to put them into a foreclosure situation, so they allowed them to take a break from making their payments. A lot of that, from what I have heard, those forbearance loans basically are going to end. Do you know when? Have you heard?
No, what I've heard is that they're working with different entities to keep extending that because they don't want to force those particular homeowners into foreclosure.
Yeah.
What I also have heard is that the percentage of borrowers that are in forbearance has decreased. I think it's about nationwide 2%.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is locally, but the fact is that 2% of people are still in forbearance,
Yeah.
which is a good thing. So I think that what I foresee and what has been projected is that as our market opens up and the wages come back, that the people that are on forbearance will have a workout plan or a final modification.
Yeah.
So that will help them and eliminate that mass foreclosure that everyone was thinking would happen.
Right. Yeah, because the issue with foreclosure is most of the time that the values are so low that you can't sell for market value. And that's definitely not the case now.
Right.
So most of the people, I mean, if I could say probably all of them have some sort of equity in their homes that would keep their home from going into foreclosure, but unfortunately, you may end up having to sell that property to get that equity out if you cannot pay back the forbearance. And that, I think, was another issue that people were facing, was that they didn't realize, oh, you mean I have to pay that back to be able to sell my home?
Right.
So there are going to be some workarounds, so keep an eye out or just keep watching us, and we'll fill you in when we hear the additional information as it comes to the public's attention.
So, I have a question for you. With the current market and everything that we've been talking about, there's talk in the industry about how high the rental rates have been increasing.
Yeah.
And wow, tell me what you've been hearing.
So, I mean, again, you have a few options, right? I mean, people who have rented for a really long time, because rents were generally lower than what your mortgage would be. That is definitely not the case. In my opinion, tell me if you're seeing something different, but I mean, in my opinion, you can purchase a home and pay almost the same for your mortgage, which is building you equity. You have ownership of this property where you can paint the walls, hang up whatever you want, change the backyard. You have a lot more freedom and you're investing in your future.
Right.
So I have a lot of people right now that if they are renters, they're asking me, hey, the prices are so high, should we buy or should we just continue to rent? It's almost a wash right now. I mean, I personally think that your mortgage would be less in some cases than your rent would be. So, I mean, I think that you owe it to yourself, you owe it to your future to actually seek out a mortgage professional who can at least run the numbers for you. If the numbers don't make sense, then absolutely rent. But if the numbers make sense and you have the opportunity to buy, that would be my suggestion. And I'm gonna say that even with the home prices as high as they are right now, because you're looking at cash in, cash out. So you're looking at what your income that you're taking in can help you purchase. And if that can purchase a home, and or you can rent and buy someone else's home, my vote is that you should try to invest in your own future, in your own financial security, and buy a house.
Yep, I agree. You know, with rents, I don't know what the average is here in Vegas, but let's just say they were $1,900. You know, $1,900 a month could buy you a $400,000+ home, which falls into that average price range, and it makes it to where you go, wow, I'm renting and paying X, and yes, I could definitely purchase. And it may not be lower, however, there's tax benefits, there's wealth building, there's putting in your future, all of those things that you talked about. And like Eileen said, it's important for you guys to invest in yourselves and get with a professional like her and I so that we can help guide you, because it's not just about the numbers, right? There's also the finding that right property, but having that team together will help you get the best deal.
Yeah. And don't wait until you're 30 days out from having to renew your lease. Because as we've been talking about this supply issue with inventory, it's going to take you more than a month to find a home, to get your offer accepted, to close on that home. It is going to take you, I would probably say, if you're even at the 6-month mark, I would say get your financial stuff in order so that you can talk to a mortgage professional, get qualified, and even let's just say there are some blips. Who doesn't have blips on their credit or in their financial history? At least that gives you an opportunity to get them corrected, to get them rectified, to get anything that could be on your record, your financial record that is not supposed to be there, you can get it removed. You have time. So don't start at the last second. Make sure that you give yourself plenty of time, and you would have the best opportunity to become a homeowner that you can get as long as we have a plan and we're prepared. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the real reason everybody tuned in to this episode, and that is interest rates. All right, break it to me. Where are we? Where are we?
So, unfortunately, as you've all seen in the media, it's, you know, again, if you're not hyper sensitive to that, well, now you should be, because pay attention. Interest rates are increasing. They're projected to increase. The Fed is on a path to raise and hike rates to tame inflation. What that translates to the rest of you is short-term rates will increase. Usually long-term rates like mortgages follow suit. They've already changed from this time last year to today. They're a point difference. So average, they're running about 4%. And again, if you've been shopping or looking at refinancing, you might go, oh my God, 4%. We've had that conversation. 4% to borrow on hundreds of thousands of dollars is not expensive, but it is shell shock if you've been shopping around.
So I just have a little bit of a comparison for you. So you'll get a credit card, right? Or I'll just say, I'll get a credit card because I'm going to save 10% on that visit, right? So let's just say it's a Macy's card. But then what happens is that interest rate is 22%.
Right.
And we don't have a problem paying 22% to go shop at Macy's.
Right.
But if you're going to buy a home, you cannot get better rates than we have right now. And listen, I understand. I understand that prices are high and that means you can afford less of a home. But at least you have that opportunity to purchase when the rates are historically lower than they have ever been in my lifetime. And that's a half century. That's a long time. So 50 years for the rates to get this low.
Yeah.
I mean, you may never see rates this low again in your lifetime.
Right.
So it's still a great rate. But I understand that because it's been so low for so long,
Right.
now we want to complain.
Right.
So complain away and still go buy whatever property that you want. And if you have that equity that you're in a place to sell, let's chat.
Right.
I mean, we can find you somewhere to go next, because I think that's everybody's main concern with selling is, where am I going to go?
Right.
I'm not going to have any place to go. That's not true. We are actively making inventory. I'm not going to give you my secret,
No.
but we are actively making inventory. And I think that that's what every good agent should be doing right now, is not waiting for the inventory to show up.
Right.
Because
Go create
it may
it.
not. You have to create it.
Yeah.
So you have to actively be making that inventory. So if you have questions or you want to see, maybe you got pre-qualified last year, want to see what your buying power is this year at the current rate, let's chat. Let's see what we can do to help you make those dreams a reality and either start or continue building your wealth.
And may I add, the emotional comfort of owning your own home, it's like a soft warm blanket, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you walk into your home, you don't have to worry about the tenants next door, the landlord, or the dog barking that
Yeah.
you don't, that's not yours.
Yeah.
And it is a nice feeling.
Yeah,
So,
and it's also nice that you don't have to worry that next month
your rent may go up.
Well, your rent might go up, or your landlord may decide
To
they're
sell.
going to sell the
Yeah,
house,
gosh.
and now you're out looking for someplace new anyway.
Yep.
So lots of options, lots of ways that we can, make this thing work in your favor, and yeah, we'd be glad to help you get that done.
Yep.
So we hope you'll join us next month for our March, oh my gosh, it's already March, for our March market update, and we will see you the next time.